Don't laugh. What you're watching right now is optimal gameplay. Optimal gameplay. Don't laugh!
Now, this ain't a video on Guilty Gear and BlazBlue. Those games are actually good. Now, today we're talking about the dreaded licensed anime fighter. I was gonna just call the video anime games, cause that's what I always called them growing up, but it's the fighters that fall into this awful pattern of mediocrity. First, these games are usually cheaper than AAA titles and are most commonly found in bargain bins just months after release. They can and do sell for full retail value sometimes, but the review scores usually temper that problem. Speaking of review scores, they score low, typically from 40 to 70 on review sites. They're almost always 2D fighters or brawler type games like Street Fighter and Power Stone respectively. Lastly, they're licensed games, so basically they're like the Cat in the Hat game, or the Grinch game, or Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen game, but with better source material. Maybe. These were made for fans. Sometimes they were good, usually bad, but there was a reason kids like me bought them. They were direct access to anime, which depending on where and when you grew up, was a scarce commodity, so you had to slurp the good juice up while it was there. How could the mainstream review sites trash these precious games based on my favorite things, KBash? How could they do that to anime? Maybe because the games had no content, like, at all. I can pull out a handful of games I bought growing up, and there's nothing going on in those games. Like, you get a story mode, a versus mode, and after that, it's up to the game. How many fans actually want to play through stories they already know? Maybe a couple, okay, but consider this. All with the same stories, though, every time. And don't even get me started on the quality, right? Do you know how many times I've played through Dragon Ball's story? I've played more time in DBZ games story mode than I've watched the show. Not to mention how fucked these games are. Look at this game. You want to try explaining this situation to your mom? Oh no, it's a game or show where teenagers make magical children kill each other, kill other people so they can burn the kid's book or whatever, and then they kill the children that way. Like Pokemon, but with killing children, though?
Brutality.
I feel like I'm gonna get arrested for child abuse just playing this game, so I'm gonna stop. Anime doesn't fly very well in the West. It's a very high concept, but there's value there, right? Not every kid had anime access on demand. I sure as hell didn't. So I played the games to get into the shows that I mostly have not watched or read. And man, growing up on American-Canadian television, it's no wonder so many kids end up watching anime. I would have done anything to escape one cultural cesspit and jump into another. Look man, shonen anime games are cool. Shonen anime characters are cool. Look at these finely assorted edgelords. They're all so dark and brooding. Look at these special attacks. Yeah, no fucking wonder people got so into anime. No fucking wonder people made self-insert original characters when you're living in the middle of fucking nowhere in an opportunity-dry and cultural wasteland. God damn. So like I said, it's notable that these games are based on shonen anime or boys anime mostly, and every big shonen had a ton of games, right? I know I already showed the DBZ series of Budokai and Tenkaichi games, but sometimes it took the companies so many iterations to make something special. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, named the fucking marathon, is by my count a good-ass fan game. It's got Mercenary Tao, it's got dudes from the movies, it's got like 95% of the important characters from the show, it's got the fucking Indian guy from Dragon Ball, like really? Really? They got the Indian guy? Yo, call me one of the swords from Pop-Up Pirate, cause I am in. But it took till this final iteration to get, for example, individually colored power-up effects, which is a minor detail, but that's the stuff that stands out. Another example, in truth, One Piece Grand Battle isn't that great, its content is bad, that's all. And this is a call out to GC Positive. Yeah, we got unwarranted YouTube beef now, talking smack about this beautiful Power Stone ripoff. Y'all better get ready to catch these hands. 1v1 me, banquet stage, no items, Usopp only. Yeah, no balls, pussy, you won't. But the sequel, Grand Adventure, was great. A bunch of cool characters, including my boy Shanks, what felt like a good chunk of content, and addictive multiplayer. The sequels were worth it if you could avoid the bad ones prior, and there were the bad ones. Like 80% of them. One thing these developers did, namely Namco Bandai, whose games I love and enjoy, please don't send the Namcops, was release sequel after sequel of these games while publishing games for more than 4 series concurrently. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a recipe to make mediocre products at a marginal profit. But if you go to the fan score part of any review site, these games get way inflated scores because they pander to fans. Even if the game is actual trash, the fans will buy anything. To be fair, fan scores are always higher because they serve only their biases and not the consumer, but the mentality is evergreen. But how could it not be? These games go out of their way to include as much fan service as possible. From alternate costumes from that niche extra episode, to adding non-canonical movie characters to the roster, to including every Tom, Dick, and Sue from the show who could throw a punch, to scenes from the show in the goddamn loading screens. The show's consumed by its own asshole. In a good way. Look at this JoJo game. By all accounts, this game is average. There's no local co-op in a co-op brawler. Are you fucking serious, guys? For a niche show to require 2 PS4s and 2 copies just so friends can play together, it's insanity. But then you look in the roster and a huge chunk of the viable, interesting characters from all 8 series of the manga are represented in cel-shaded 3D rendered format with all their quirks and powers from the source material. It's a project for the fans, but not the consumers.
Oh my god! Yada.
Oh, but the voice work though. Of course, if you played mostly GameCube/PS2 era games, you weren't getting the Japanese voices. You were getting the 4Kids voices.
Usopp! Rubber band! You jerk! How lame!
Roar! I'm also a pirate!
Okay, party!
Get your egg. Tenderloin leg, gut stuffer. You joke. The main course is about to be soy. Butterloin breaker, one roast wrecker, toiki tenderizer, joint jammy jam, prime cut cake. Subscribe.
And the cutscenes, good lord.
I'm Yoroichi Shihoin, and I know that you're a hollow.
What would it be like if I stabbed myself?
These anime games have sucked in the past, but look how far we've come. They got the makers of Guilty Gear to make this shit. The game is goddamn beautiful. This game is for the fans. This game is hard and fun to play, and it didn't even need the Indian guy to be good. This game came out last January and shot into Evo like nothing. It released on the same day as Monster Hunter World and right next to Dissidia and still destroyed the competition left and right. This game defies expectation, and maybe it's because they got a notable developer of competitive fighting games to make one for a licensed IP for once, instead of making another shitty... What even is this shit? We've come so far with this release, but there's so much more to do. And I know that because of the My Hero Academia game. Look, I watch it, you probably watch it, and if you're not, watch it. My Hero Academia's first season redefined the meta of shonen anime, if you ask me. The series got a crusty old shit who only sees good and bad writing and made me question what they did to get me back in. It's a statistical outlier and well deserves the hype. At least the first season. But when I saw the trailers, I knew exactly what we were getting. Another goddamn Bandai Namco brawler. Relaxalax basically called it months in advance in his own video. Everyone who's ever played one of these should have known it was gonna be clunky and weird. It was made for the fans, but it's a post-Dragon Ball Z Fighter's world, bro. The bar is raised. And don't get me wrong, I want to buy this and get that fan rush of immersing myself in my own tastes, but is anyone surprised by this? Yeah, it's a franchise that sells itself on always trying your hardest, and like anyone in the know knows, the Namco Banditos hold a full retail ransom for the only big Hero Aka game out right now, then give the fans a limp, decidedly average experience. How can I even shit on these games, though? They might suck on a fundamental level, but they're fun. All a game needs is to be fun or interesting, and that's where you get the fan scolders. That's why these otherwise awful, schlocky games are fun and enjoyable. Maybe you showed your friends and got them to jack the Wiimote in public, and it was fun. Maybe you had competitive matches in One Piece instead of playing Melee for the 50th consecutive night. Maybe you showed your friend how to use the convoluted control scheme and they liked playing it even if it was a little rough. Because shooting gigantic laser beams is fucking awesome. And at the end of the day, isn't that all we, the fans, can ask for? Thanks for watching my stupid video about stupid games. More videos on the way, especially Smash Ultimate content when that game comes out. And if you don't like Smash, get the fuck off my channel. I'm not joking. Literally go. Mass Exodus.